What if I told you there is a small island on the edge of Europe, with cliffs so tall they make your knees go weak, castles older than most countries, pubs so warm they feel like home, and people so friendly they will invite a total stranger in for tea? That island is Ireland. And before you say, "Oh, it is just green fields and rain," please stay with me, because Ireland is one of those places that gets inside you. It is not just a trip, it changes something. In the next 15 minutes, we are going to see the wild coast, the ancient castles, the incredible food and pub culture, and the hidden corners of Ireland that most people never find. And by the end of this video, I think you will understand why people who visit Ireland almost always go back. Let's go. The moment you land in Dublin, something hits you straight away. It is not the buildings or the weather. It is the people. The Irish have a way of making you feel like you have known them for years, even if you just met them at a bus stop 5 minutes ago. Dublin is a city that is alive. The River Liffey cuts right through the middle of it. The Halfpenny Bridge, an old iron footbridge from 1816, is still one of the most photographed spots in the country. And the Georgian doors, bright red, deep blue, forest green, sunny yellow, line the streets of the city center like a painting someone refused to finish. Temple Bar is the famous quarter, packed with pubs, music, art, and more tourists than anywhere else in Ireland. It is loud and colorful and completely alive at any hour. Then 10 minutes away, you have Trinity College, one of the oldest universities in the world, where you can see the Book of Kells, a handwritten manuscript from the year 800. 800! It is that kind of city, old and new at the same time. Walk through Dublin for one afternoon and you will already feel it, that warm, impossible-to-explain feeling that Ireland puts in your chest. If you only have time to do one thing in Ireland, do this. Drive the Wild Atlantic Way. It is a 2,500-kilometer coastal route along the entire west coast of Ireland, and it is one of the most dramatic, most beautiful drives on the planet. Nothing prepares you for it. You turn a corner, and suddenly there are cliffs dropping 200 meters straight into the Atlantic Ocean. The waves are crashing below you. The wind is pulling at your coat, and the horizon just goes on forever. The cliffs of Moher are the most famous part, and they deserve every bit of that fame. Standing on the edge and looking out at the Atlantic, you feel very small and very alive at the same time. Then there is the Dingle Peninsula, a narrow finger of land poking into the Atlantic, with mountain roads, empty beaches, and tiny fishing villages where people still speak Irish as their first language. And Connemara. If you want to understand what the word wild really means, go to Connemara. It is all bog and lake and mountain and cloud. Miles and miles of landscape that looks like nobody has touched it in 1,000 years. This is the Ireland that breaks people open. Here is something most people do not realize about Ireland. It is ancient, much older than people expect. Newgrange is a prehistoric monument in County Meath. It was built over 5,000 years ago. That is older than the Egyptian pyramids. Every winter solstice, at sunrise, a narrow beam of sunlight travels through the entrance tunnel and lights up the chamber inside, exactly as the builders planned it 5,000 years ago. Think about that. Then there is the Rock of Cashel, a cluster of medieval buildings sitting on top of a rocky hill in County Tipperary. It looks like something out of a fantasy story. And Blarney Castle, where you can kiss the famous Blarney Stone and, according to legend, be given the gift of great speech. Millions of people have done it. Make of that what you will. The Ring of Kerry is one of Ireland's most famous driving routes, a loop through mountains, coastline, and tiny villages in County Kerry. And Glendalough, a valley with 2 lakes and the ruins of a 6th century monastery, is one of the most peaceful, most beautiful places in all of Ireland. Ireland is a country where every single hill has a story. Every stone wall, every ruin, every round tower, All of it is telling you something about a people who have lived here for a very, very long time. I want to talk about the Irish pub, because I genuinely believe the Irish pub is one of the greatest things human beings have ever created. It is not just a bar. It is a living room, a meeting place, a concert hall, a community center. You walk in and there is a fire going in the corner, and a fiddle player in the other corner, and someone is telling a story at the bar that has everyone laughing, and nobody is on their phone. The Irish call it the crack, which has no direct translation, but means something like great conversation, good company, and the feeling that you are exactly where you should be. And then there is the Guinness, Ireland's most famous drink, poured slowly in 2 parts, left to settle until the head turns creamy white. It tastes different in Ireland than anywhere else in the world. People say it is the water. I believe them. The food is much better than its reputation. Irish stew, lamb, potato, carrot, and parsley is the kind of meal that makes you feel taken care of. Soda bread fresh from the oven. Seafood chowder on the West Coast, made with fish pulled from the Atlantic that morning. And the full Irish breakfast. Eggs, bacon, sausages, black pudding, white pudding, grilled tomato, mushrooms, is the best start to any day of exploration. I have eaten well in a lot of countries. Ireland surprised me more than most. Here is what the postcards do not show you about Ireland. The dark hedges, a tunnel of ancient beech trees on a road in County Antrim, planted in the 1700s. The branches have grown together overhead over hundreds of years and created a natural cathedral of twisted wood. It is one of the most magical-looking places I have ever seen, and most people walk past it without knowing it exists. Skellig Michael, a rocky island that shoots straight out of the Atlantic Ocean off the Kerry coast. It has a 6th century monastery on top, built by monks who climbed up 600 steps cut into the rock face. It is completely wild and completely isolated and completely unforgettable. You may recognize it. It was used in Star Wars. The Aran Islands, 3 small islands off the Galway coast, are a world apart. People still speak Irish here every day. There are no cars, just bikes and horse-drawn carts. The stone walls go on forever. Time moves differently here. Achill Island, a wide open beach of white sand and water so blue it does not look real. If you told me this beach was in the Caribbean, I would believe you, except for the wind. Ireland rewards people who go looking. The more you explore, the more it gives back. I have been to a lot of countries. Some I enjoyed, some I would go back to. Ireland, I think about differently. There is something about this island. The wild coast, the old stones, the warmth of the people, the music that seems to come from somewhere deep and real, that stays with you in a way that is hard to explain. Ireland does not just show you things, it makes you feel things. Is it expensive? Not really. It is actually one of the more affordable countries in Western Europe if you plan well. Is it worth it? Every single time. Whether you spend a week in Dublin, drive the wild Atlantic Way, sit in a pub in Galway listening to a trad session that goes on until 2 in the morning, or stand on the cliffs at Moher and feel the wind come in off the Atlantic, Ireland asks something of you. It asks you to slow down, look up, and actually be somewhere. And that is a very rare thing in this world. If you are planning a trip to Europe, even a few days in Ireland will change how the rest of the trip feels. Go west. Find the wild places. Say yes to the pub with the music. Order the stew. Talk to strangers. You will not regret it. If this video gave you even one reason to put Ireland on your list, hit subscribe. We make new travel videos every week, and check the description for everything you need to plan your Ireland trip. If you could spend one perfect day anywhere in Ireland, where would you go, and what would you do first? Tell me in the comments.